I'm going to give you a quick video, but I've got to run to work. But I was working on something for you. Let me show you what I was working on. That beam we see in the videos where we see it laying down on the ground. It's a BM 33, 35, and 34. One of you viewers, I always like giving credit where some viewers are also, I don't want to steal your thunder. I was working on that, but some viewer, so let me just show you. I go over to held comments. Where the hell is it? Well, it's somewhere in here. Held comments. Yeah, so we're gonna. Oh, there they are. So in the held comments, somebody said, "Hey, look. Oh, it's Lucy." So Lucy said that, and I just James. I'm sorry, I don't read all your comments. I just approve them. I just like whatever. Lucy, I look at a lot of your stuff, and you put links there. Out of this channel. That's not good for the channel, as YouTube has given us plenty of tips on that. Don't do that. That's why they block them on purpose. I do look at your stuff. Sometimes I don't believe it. So if I don't believe it and I think it's too far off, like anchors in the roof, all right, no, that's pixie dust. So I don't bother with that, Lucy. But like Lucy's thing here, this is what I was working on, and then I came over to comments and I was like, ha. And something else somebody said, I don't want to steal your thunder because we're on the same page. I'm doing an overlay of the beam, what we see that apparent, like this beam here is in place, right? So this one's in place on the ground. So I'm doing an overlay of the parking spots, what we see left of the debris before the collapse of the structure, the pool, the columns, and this gives you, and what we know from the report of the deck falling down. In our minds, we see the deck and we assume it's straight. But let's go ahead and engulf the area larger. But here's the thing, watch. I can't engulf it like that because it doesn't exist like that. There is a plane that's created right about here. So now I'm overlapping older plans with newer plans to see if some of this construction exists. For example, this BMA here. See, it says BMA. If this one consists all the way across, does this BMA right here exist? All right, so BMA, right? We think it's, see, it says BMA. We can think all we want. There's some plans in here to show a beam of what a BMA is. The problem with that plan is that that BMA. This I want to show you the overlay. So this looks at. I've got to run, but I wanted to give you a quick synopsis of what I'm going to do later. These are the structures beams, all right? Everything else would be the deck beams. So imagine, and I can't draw on this one because it's actually the plans. But this is what I want to do for you later. This is the deck so I can help you understand better. So here's the deck. So it's all ledgered to the structures beams, all right? So let's not get the deck failing first. You can get the deck failing first. Will it shear away from the deck, from the structures beams? Well, apparently not. We have engulfment back to here to the ramp area, and I believe it's down between K and L. Correction, between M and L based on this stairwell. So can we get this deck failure, ledgering up, puncturing around here, and engulfing back to here? Well, I say we can because we had the earthquake going up the building. We don't really have an earthquake going up the building to the left. We have the video showing the collapse of the section over here. So the earthquake is rattling itself up the walls of these columns here. Phone calls are made. Minutes later, the collapse of the building. Minutes later, the lady observes from the lobby the deck caving in. Deck caving in. We have cars here. Remember the deck, pool deck, the overlap of the pool deck and the car parking spots. I'm going to show you where it goes around, and I think the driveway entrance is here for this. We already talked about it that one night where I said my LASIK is killing me. I thought it was 15s. Now my LASIK, my eyes look much sharper this morning. I just need to rest. I literally have to rest them. I thought this was 15s in that one video because of my eyes. I even thought it was 19. That's how bad they were. It's 16, 15, 16s, 16. They're all over the place with their changing of their reinforcement. 17s. These line up pretty nicely. 16, 16s, and 16s. They all line up this reinforcement except for this 15 between here and here. So if you would run a straight line down here, what you see, the straight line here, and you run a straight line down these, you would see your spacing is equal. So if you were to do that, you would see that you would not get your overlap proper unless somehow you start from the center line and work your way left and right, and then somehow the engulfment would be different. I can do a bunch of that. That's theoretical. It didn't collapse over here. It collapsed down here with our car loading. So I'm going to show you, and over here some of this stayed. The planter line box lines about this right about here, and it always did in every plan apparently. Coming back to this one I can draw on. This shelf is left behind, so this squiggly area here is left behind. This did not fail. This is part of a shear plane that was developed. This is your planter box. This planter box actually has a little bit of a torque action going on, so it's like that. Let's put that there. And then this is more straight. So if I could move this box over, I would shift it. And then we would say, well, how do you get that rotation? There's a car up here, right about here, that slid down onto this car. If I could do that, I would do something like, I would do something like a rotation. So I can't rotate this car a little bit, but I would have it bumping into that car a little bit, sliding over, showing our part of our planes, part of our fracture. Looks like that. So I would change the color to, just for clarity, let's go with the green. And this is the shear. Then I would change this because this sheared off of here. So this is our fracture, car leaning down. This is where all the cars, this area here was what came down all in one shot. One shot, right? Let me get rid of the, let me do that real quickly. Again, this is the fast version of the video, so I'll do a double overlay. So this is all came down in one shot. Observe the cars falling. This is your secondary brake. The pool has a construction joint here. It breaks free. Incidentally, I did get hold of a guy, the 30-year plans reviewer. My man, I said he's gonna start his viewer. He's never heard of BMA either. He recommended I call this other engineer we know, and you know, he's like 75, 78 years old. So to see if he would know what the A stands for. We do know what it looks like, so that's not the concern. The concern is this, what I've been trying to hope you guys would catch on, is that beam type A, let's say that's BMA, it only shows, it doesn't matter where it's located, beam type A is the same configuration. It's only one of these BMAs on here. And so it doesn't matter where they put it, this BMA, its stirrups and its sizing stays the same. So the spans, you may find BMA like right here. So it spans from there to there, same size and span. And when it turns here, same size and span. Same size and span. Here, same size and span, not really, because here it's transverse going this way. So it's loading kind of sideways on this BMA. And so the loading is different on it, yet the sizing stays the same. We get BMAs even down here in the structural drawing, but then they get bounced out. So I'm like, what's up with the BMAs? Is that, and I don't want somebody, don't give me your definitive answer, all right? If you're going to give me a definitive answer, I find it just kind of trolling like, because it's not definitive. What's definitive is this says beam types A. We're assuming it's BMA, but the sizing is definitive here on beam types A. So BMA appears to be beam types A. What's definitive is the sizing. What's not definitive is the multiple elevation changes, but now we're at the elevation change of the same. The deck, the pool deck area, and the garage parking area over here are one in the same, 11 foot 10. Just so you guys know, they do mix the north and south plans up at one point. Now they appear not to be mixing them up. The timeline stamps change from architectural to drawing back and forth with dates. They change it to 80. The architect sometimes doesn't put in the structural sections, and sometimes the architect does put in the structural sections BMA. So I think the BMA is something more of a architectural detail, and then the engineer came along to refine it. And so his BMA is interesting. So remember, is this architect from Canada? So maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. Isn't this developer from Canada? So maybe they crossed some. Maybe I should be looking at some Canadians. I know I say Canadians. Canadians abbreviations, not the U.S. abbreviations. It just hit me on that just now as we're speaking. All right, this is the short version that I'm showing you that I'm working on. Ultimately, it looks like the path load, and this is, I think I might have to push this back. No, so they come down here, they drive this one right here, should be 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, oh yeah, right. So then I have to show you, I'll have to get you my list of this link over here. So here is the garage, that line, this damn thing, flower pots. I'll have to get you this link over here. You guys asked me, someone asked me where do I keep my images. I keep them over here, IMGBB. You guys can load images up there for free and share the links to me if you so care. I want to do the overlay of this even, showing where the fractures are, so with core samples of the deck, showing you that the deck is critical over there. Yes, this is over by the planter area that's critical. But we also have the BMAs there, which would help support some of this critical area, but you can't discount, oh, well, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Well, you're saying BMAs are there. How do we get these fractures? Well, theoretically, you shouldn't be getting this much deflection. So how are we getting that much deflection over there where we're cracking these up? Assuming the core samples were clean core samples, nobody did anything shitty when taking the core samples. How do we get that? Are we talking about a BMA that's failed? Over here, they're supporting using what appears to be these locations we don't quite know where they are at this point. Let's make it clear. I don't know where they are at this point. But they appear to be supporting, in front of the garage, some BMAs or beams. See the support right now? Here we go. So this does not seem to be part of the repairs. No BMA appears to be part of a repair. But between BMAs appear to be part of a repair. Incidentally, no columns appear to be part of the repairs. So I find this intriguing that he's supporting the BMAs, but yet I can only think of supporting what I think these BMAs are, these beams. Would mean you're getting ready to do column repair and not floor repair, because if the columns were here, you don't need to support these columns, these beams, unless you're doing column repair. So I find this kind of an odd duck that he's supporting the beams, and then for the repair, I believe this is going to be in here. This would indicate that it was column repair going on, and not deck repair with the support system he set up. This is my oh shit, what's going on moment for you guys. But I got to run because I got to meet a contractor. But I wanted to give you a little taste of something and get you to thinking about this. That this is supporting beams, which means you're going to be doing column repair, not deck repair at this point. The columns are good and the spacing is as such. This little span here, you can take it apart. It's supported. If anything, we talk about bridging to stop them from butterflying into each other. How would you bridge them? This is kind of weird. This setup. This setup is weird. Over here, this would be a repair between here. So that's between here. But again, he's supporting a column. I find that he's supporting a beam. So what does he have here? Deflection in a beam. All right. This is very telling. The structural repair here is very telling that you have some BMAs or beams failure or column failure that he's addressing here. And I'm sorry, the column failure that he's addressing here in this image. And in this one, this could be deck repair right about here. If you're going to support like this, the deck repair is in here. but you would also have a deflection problem here that I have, because this structure wouldn't be, this beam would not be asking support from this side. So why? This beam would be supporting from column to column. It's going to take more to teach you this. So let me hang up and run, and hopefully this teaser helps you, show you that I haven't given up, that I still want to get you your path, but this opens a new door to column failure, unless I have to take into consideration that the guy says he's never done any field work in his entire career. The engineer states that he's not has no experience in construction. So if that's the case, how does he know where to load this to do the repair? It's kind of a conflict of statements on his part. Take care, bye.